You're listening to the How to Talk to Girls podcast, where you'll learn step-by-step how to meet and seduce beautiful women, whether you're looking for one night of fun, a week-long fling, or a long-term relationship. I'm your host, Trip, and the episode starts now. Hello and welcome to the How to Talk to Girls podcast. I'm your host, Trip Kramer from tripadvice.com. Welcome to another episode. And we are going to be talking today about something really cool. I know it sounds like a scary title. However, you're the one who clicked on it. No, but for real, there is something that's kind of cool. And don't worry, it's not manipulative in a way that it's going to harm anybody. But it's something really interesting that really connects you with a girl very fast. It's a really cool technique that I'll be teaching you. And it works so well. It works so well to form that really instant connection with a girl that you're talking to. So I just want to say this though, you do have to have some general conversation skills for this to work. You know, you can't just use this out of nowhere. Like you do have to be able to hold a decent conversation with a girl. And then you use this tactic and it just takes it to the next level. It's that cool, okay? So we're going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to teach you what it is, how to use it, all that great stuff. I've noticed that you guys have been leaving me reviews on my podcast recently. I don't know if it's because I asked or what, but I'm really appreciating them. They're awesome. They help because when you write a review or leave a review, what happens is the podcast that I have gets put in front of more people and more people get to see it, which then makes the podcast grow bigger. So you're really doing yourself a favor by leaving me a review. You're not just helping me, but you're helping everybody else out there to get access to the podcast. I'm at 553 reviews. It'd be really cool to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. That's 4 months. It'd be doubling it. So if you are enjoying the podcast, if you've gotten any help at all from the podcast, I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking that you go to iTunes and you review it. If you're not listening on iTunes at all, a review anywhere else is great. I definitely want it though in iTunes because that's where it seems to be the most popular to listen to a podcast. But again, if you're listening to this somewhere else, any review helps. So thank you very much. Surfer Camp said, this is a great podcast on dating, relationships, and well-being. It helped me a lot. Bonezuka said, this podcast motivated me and answered some of my questions. Thank you. W. Webster 3 said, Trip does a great job of giving out information to guys to help them instantly improve their mindset and process for dating. Please keep the content coming, Trip. I really appreciate what you're doing. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Those are some reviews for the past couple weeks here, and it's much appreciated. All right. So another quick announcement, something I talk about here in the podcast quite a bit. And I know I've been talking to you on the phone, a lot of you who have heard about this because you've been applying for coaching. Coaching is available. Spots are available, and they're available to you if you want to get coaching with me. Coaching is one-on-one. That means it's you and me, either over the phone or in person. I have multiple options to help you have an insane dating life, an active dating life where you're meeting and attracting the women that you're truly interested in. So if you are interested in improving your dating life and you want to do it in a way that doesn't make you some weird, creepy pickup artist or someone that you're not, and do it in a natural way that's actually sustainable and lasts for a very long time, because people get into the pickup stuff. It's good for a quick confidence, but then it doesn't really last them. So if you're interested in that, apply today. Go to coachedbytrip.com. When you apply, I will be there to help you, and we can get you on the road and on the path to, like I said, meeting and attracting the quality women in your town. So go to coachedbytrip.com today, apply. I will reach out to you either by email or I'll text you, and you and I will set up a call to talk about coaching, see if it's a good fit for you, and then get you all signed up. All right? coachedbytrip.com. Okay, so what is this tactic that I'm talking about? Well, the tactic that I'm talking about is this sort of us versus them tactic. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that the next time that you get into a conversation with a girl, what I want you to do is create this us versus them mentality, meaning us, you, and the girl versus everybody else, kind of getting her on your side. What you're doing here, and I'll give you a couple of examples in a second on how to do that, but just understand how this works, is what you're doing is you're creating an instant connection by verbally telling her that you guys are on the same mindset, on the same wavelength, on the same path. So you're going to be saying things to her that make it appear like you guys are together thinking something. Okay, again, I'll give you some examples so that you can really tie this together nicely. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be kind of spitting these out throughout the interaction. So it creates what I call this we bubble. Okay, the we bubble. The we bubble, like I said, is pretty powerful because what happens is you're saying to her, hey, we're an entity now. Not only are we an entity, but we agree on the same thing. We see the same way. It's us versus everyone else. And that creates that instant connection between you two. It's so cool. It's so powerful. Now listen, you don't want to overdo it. You only want to say it maybe a couple times throughout the interaction, or else it's going to be kind of obvious. And even beyond that, it's going to be just kind of boring, right? If you're just saying the same types of things over and over. All right, so let me give you a few examples so you can use this and know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So here's an example. You can do something like simple as fashion. You guys are maybe dressed really nice, okay? And I'm going to say this example is more for maybe if you guys are at a bar or somewhere kind of swanky. But then again, you could probably use this if you're meeting a girl during the day too. So imagine you guys are both dressed similar, right? Again, this can be you guys are wearing a similar style shoe. You guys are wearing similar style jeans or pants. Again, you guys aren't going to be wearing the same clothes because she's a girl and you're a guy, but it's like this similar vibe, right? It's either nice or it's really casual. And what you can say in the middle of conversation, somewhere in conversation, doesn't have to be exactly in context, but you can say, hey, look at us. Look how cool we are. Look how cool we are, by the way. We are totally dressed awesome. And then look at everybody else, right? And it's cool. So you can say that whether you're dressed really nice or really not. So imagine you guys are both at the grocery store and you're both having sweatpants. You can say something like, God, how cool are we, by the way? We're both chilling. We're both in sweatpants. Everyone else is dressed up. Or you can do the opposite. You guys are maybe at the grocery store. This is, again, where you might be meeting this girl for the first time and say, look at us. We go to the grocery store. We dress up. We look nice. And everyone else, they're dressed terrible. Okay, again, this is one example of creating the we, the us versus them. It's you two versus everyone else. You're singling out her and you and separating yourself from everyone else, okay? Now, this is pretty intense. I know it sounds like, whoa, this is, like, how would I say something like this? But you got to remember, this is flirty. This is flirty. You want to take it to that level. You want to take it to that extreme where you're saying things like that, where you're saying things to her that are making you guys connect more. You know, this is something that you might be saying to a friend. Imagine you and a friend, just a good friend, you guys are walking in the store, in the grocery store, and you guys are wearing just like, you know, some crappy clothes, some whatever, some t-shirts, and then you kind of just like make fun of everyone else really quickly and say, oh, look at everyone else. Look, everyone's so dressed up. God, we're awesome. We're just walking around in sweatpants, right? Again, this is one example. And you can come up with some on your own. You might, find that now that you understand this concept and you go out a bunch, that you can find any kind of example that separates you two versus everyone else, wherever you might meet her, right? Okay, here's a few more examples, okay? So maybe you guys are talking, you find out you have this similar music taste, right? That you guys both like something very rare. Or you have taste in some sort of something cultural with movies, music, anything that you guys have some sort of interest in. You can say how, that's so cool that you guys have such good taste in that. You bet no one else in here has the better taste than you, right? When you say, or you should say basically, you're not going to say you, I'm saying you to you. You're going to say no one else has better taste than us, right? You're going to use the word us a lot, or we're so cool, us, right? Things like that. Another thing could be maybe you guys have similar jobs or you work in the same industry. Then you mention that. Again, it's about separating you two from everyone else who's in the same room as you. Now, you're not going to necessarily do this, by the way, with her friends. Like, you're not going to single out her friends or anyone that you know. You're not going to throw anyone under the bus that you guys personally know who's there. You're just talking about the room in general, right? Again, what are you doing here? You're making this connection between you two that brings you guys closer together. And because you're doing that, she's going to feel like, wow, like she's going to feel closer to you because you've mentioned this thing that makes you guys cool. It makes her feel good because she's being complimented in a way, right? She's being complimented because you're saying something nice about her, but you're including yourself in it. And then you guys have this little bond, right? It's like this cute, fun little bond. It's flirty, it's fun. All right. So similar jobs, maybe you guys work in the same industry. You can just, for no reason at all, just say, gosh, we're the coolest people here. Just for no reason, just kind of say it out loud. Or in whatever context you guys are talking about anything. Maybe you guys are both wearing, again, this is so stupid. You guys are both wearing glasses, right? It can be sunglasses. It could be regular glasses. Like, wow, we're so cool. I bet you we have the coolest glasses in here. You and I are amazing, right? You're just being fun. And of course, when you say this, it's obviously like a joke. You're not being completely serious, but you have this half serious tone. So that's why it makes that bond create, right? You can just say you guys are the smartest people in there. If you guys are having a really cerebral conversation, a really nice conversation between you two, you can say something like that. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So I want you to be thinking of ways in your conversation to be able to do this. How exciting is this, by the way? I love kind of going back to some of the basics here. We're talking on the How to Talk to Girls podcast. This is specifically how to talk to girls. So again, I just want to remind you what we're doing here. We're giving you a technique that you can say to her, that's flirty, that's fun, that's funny, that's basically telling her, hey, we have something going on here. So you're subtly saying to her, we have something special here. We have a bond. You and me are different than everyone else. It creates this kind of team vibe where it's you versus everyone else, and it makes you guys feel closer together. That's what it does. That's why it's so powerful, right? It makes this connection between you two, even though you guys have only been talking for such a short time. I mean, you could literally say this to a girl within 2 minutes, right? It doesn't matter when you say it. That's why I said to you earlier, you got to have some sort of experience with talking to women. You got to have something going on. If you're very still shy and can't talk to girls, it might be harder to implement this. So I wouldn't say this is an advanced technique. I'd say it's more intermediate. You just got to be able to hold a conversation long enough where you'll be comfortable holding the conversation where you remember, oh, maybe I can use one of these little wee bubbles here, right? This little technique here. So you can try that. If conversation, by the way, is still so tough for you and you're really having a hard time keeping the conversation flowing, just FYI, this is what coaching is for. So if you're interested in that, go to coachbytrip.com so we can help you through that and get you through the whole process of being able to talk to girls so it's comfortable and you can use some of these cool techniques, okay? But think about this. Just think about this in, a way where it's just easy for you. Meaning, don't force it. Don't force it. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? Just let it happen naturally. When you feel like, oh, we just kind of connected on something small, boom, that's when you can just throw it out there, right? You connected on something small, boom, now throw it out there. Very simple. Very simple. I know this is a shorter episode, but I wanted to kind of throw one out there that's just simple, easy. There's not much more to say in this technique. I hope it makes sense. Gosh, it's such a shame. I wish I could answer your questions on it. I wish this was more like YouTube where I could answer your questions in the comments and things like that. But unfortunately, it's just me here talking to you. And all I know is how many people download and how many people leave reviews. But I'm not complaining. Love talking to you. And I love connecting with you guys. And a lot of you listen to the podcast and you tell me when we hop on our little strategy calls when you're interested in coaching. And I hear that there's a lot of guys who just love using the podcast. So that's great. Hopefully that helped. Nice little technique for you. And try it out. See how it works. Email me, trip@tripadvice.com if it does work, and add it to your repertoire. So my advice is when you're going out, don't try to just shove a bunch of techniques in your pocket. Like, think of one or two that you can use. Be really easy with it, right? Don't just go out and say, okay, I'm going to use the wee bubble and use this one and use this one. Just go out for like a couple nights and say, okay, I'm going to try this wee bubble and just see what happens. See how it works. And then once you kind of get that down, that can be part of your ongoing repertoire, right? So just make it easy for yourself. Make it easy for yourself. Try a new technique over and over and over again until you get it down. And then you can try another one another time until eventually you're just going to be so smooth and charismatic in conversation. Some of this stuff is just going to come out. So powerful stuff. Hope you liked it. More coming your way. This was awesome. Another episode coming out this week. Enjoy. Talk to you soon.